It's time to put a bow on all the action and wrap up what we saw on Saturday in the NCAA tournament. Krysten Peek, Danny Green, I'm Jason Fitz for Yahoo Sports. Danny, what stood out to you?
I mean, of course, I love seeing my Carolina boys win, so that's the first thing that stood out. But a player we spoke about earlier in the week, TERRANCE SHANNON Jr., another monster night, 30 points tonight. Illinois rolled. They played a great game, but he's averaging 32.5 points over his last 4 games, and he's been the player of the tournament for me so far. So if he continues this, you know, he could be MVP of they're going to be in the Final Four, I think, and he'll be MVP of the tournament.
That is interesting to me because so much of what we saw today were teams coming in and taking away what happened in the first round. Nobody was able to take him away in this matchup.
No, he's been playing extremely well, getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, but getting his teammates involved. He does a little bit of everything, not just scoring and shooting. He actually started off slow tonight, had about 12 points in the first half, but finished off strong. They were up big early, and they were able to get some rest as well, but they all played a really good game tonight.
Dominance for them. KP, what stands out to you?
I mean, it was nothing that happened on the court. It was what happened off the court after the game, and that was after Gonzaga beat Kansas to roll to the Sweet 16. And you know, Bill Self came out and said, for the last month, I've been thinking about next season, to be honest. And mind you, it was taken a little bit out of context. He went on to explain that they've been dealing with injuries all season long, and they were missing Kevin McCullough Jr., their #1 scorer, who averages 20 a game. And Hunter Dickinson has just been a shell of himself with the dislocation in the shoulder. But to say that in a press conference after your season just ended, no matter which way you're going with that comment, was just really shocking to see from a seasoned coach, and, you know, a bad look for him.
Yeah, I don't like to tell people, especially coaches, what to say, but there's certain things you can think and not say out loud. I'm glad he backtracked and spoke on it, because if you're a player that's playing for him, you hear that, it's like you kind of feel like your coach might have given up on you in the last month or so. But I said I'm glad he cleared it up. They've been dealing with a lot of teams have, but in this time, tournament time, there's no excuses. You got to come out and play. But I do give them credit. They were down man and a half because Hunter Dickinson did not have his full shoulder. But, you know, so things like that, you have to kind of just keep to yourself.
And that brings me to my big takeaway from what we saw, and it's that sort of everybody belongs, right? As we were watching all of the games over the course of today, it feels like every round we're seeing more of the fat trimmed, and what we're getting are the best of the best from the coaches, from the players, the teams that are able to figure out how to strategize against each other. As I mentioned earlier, we've seen strengths taken away. The teams that are surviving, this doesn't feel like a year of a wild, lucky buzzer beater where you're sitting there saying, how the hell did that team get to this spot? This feels like the teams that are surviving are actually the best teams. And I think that's good for the sport.
For sure. But it makes it kind of boring for the fan, the drama. People want to see more upsets, not as many upsets this year, but we're getting a good brand of basketball.
Taking care of business.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as much as we love to see drama, we also love to see great basketball. And the Sweet 16 is shaping up to be exactly that.